Majang. I'm taking you through soil pollution. So we can start by defining what soil pollution is. It is the contamination of soil by harmful substances, that is the chemical, waste, and biological agents that negatively affect plant growth, animal life, and human health. It also reduces soil fertility and can make land unsafe for agriculture and habitation. So there we are looking at the chemical substances and the biological agents negatively affecting what? Soil. The soil, which later affect the plant growth, animal life, and what? Human life or human health in that matter. So you're moving to types of soil pollution. What causes soil pollution? Number one is chemical substances or agents which originate from the industries, fuels, fertilizers, and paints. Number two component or cause or type of soil pollution is physical agents which originate from waste, backfill, microplastics. We go to biological agents that cause soil pollution, which originate from wastewater, contaminated compost, pathogens. Those are the three types of soil pollution. Then we go to sources of soil pollution. Here we are going to look at what causes or where does the pollutants that cause soil erosion originate from. And number one is agricultural activities. Here we are looking at excessive use of fertilizers, pesticides, and herbicides. Chemicals seep into the soil and disrupt natural balance. So you all know about that. It's self-explanatory. Then you go to number two source of soil pollution, which is industrial waste. So here, factories release toxic chemicals, heavy metals, and hazardous waste. Improper disposal contaminates what? The nearby land. When factories release their waste into the soil or into the water, which maybe through runoff they enter into the soil, affecting what? Or negatively affecting what? The soil pollution. Then we go to mining activities. That's another source of soil pollution. Here, extraction processes release heavy metals like lead and mercury into the soil. Then we move to improper waste disposal. That's another source of what? Soil pollution. So here, open dumping of household garbage, plastics, polythene bags, and e-waste, landfills that leak harmful substances into the soil. Improper waste disposal. And here, majorly, we are looking at what? Plastics. The non-biodegradable what? Plastics. Then we go to another source is oil spills and leakage. Leakages from vehicles, oil pipelines, and storage tanks contaminate soil and reduce what? Fertility. So hizo nini zinatoka kwa maybe garage, the used oils from the garage, pipelines when they leak and enter into the soil, they pollute what? The soil. Then another cause or source is deforestation. Damaris, tell us about deforestation.
Deforestation involves cutting of trees.
Yes, when trees are cut, that means the land is left bare.
Yes.
So when land is left bare, we are increasing the chances of what? Erosion. That negatively what? Affect the soil balance. Good. Then we go next to effects of soil pollution. Effects of soil pollution. Point number 1 is reduced soil fertility and crop yield. When soil is negatively affected, that means people practicing agriculture, they will not reap heavily on what? On that type of soil. That means there will be reduced crop yield and what? And reduced soil fertility when soil is contaminated. Then we go to point number 2, contamination of food chain. Contamination of food chain. So we remember, was it in Form 2 when we were looking at the food chain and food web? Another organism, it's another one. So when soil is contaminated, those microorganisms living in the soil, they will not be there, Cindy. So that means the food chain will be affected in one way or another. Then we go to point number 3, effect causes health problems in humans, e.g. poisoning and diseases. When soil is contaminated and we grow food in that soil, that means the food also we consume is what? Contaminated. Eventually our health will be what? Will be affected. Yes. Then we go to another effect, which is loss of biodiversity. Loss of biodiversity. So when we cut off trees and we leave the land bare, there is soil erosion. That means there is no living thing that can thrive in that kind of what? In that kind of soil. That means biodiversity in that land is reduced. Completely lost. Cindy? Yes. Then another point is water pollution through runoff and leaching. When soil is affected, is left bare, that means there will be runoff, leading to what? Maybe if there are rivers or any water body nearby, the soil the runoff will go into the water body, and eventually what? Pollute the water. Cindy? Yes. Then you go to another point. Yes. So finally, we are looking at how can we control soil erosion. How are we going to control soil erosion? And point number 1 is proper waste management. Here, we dispose garbage in designated areas, not open land. Yes, that's self-explanatory, Cindy. Yes. Like yesterday, I was watching news. KU referral hospital, they were showing us how they dispose of their waste. They don't just litter, they throw on land. They have their chimneys where they burn. Kama ni solid waste, they have a way of a pit they dispose. Kama ni hizo za kutoka hospitali, they have a way of what? Disposing that kind of waste. So that is self-explanatory. Number 2 way of we can control soil erosion, soil pollution is reduce use of chemicals in farming. Reduce the use of chemicals in farming. So here we use organic fertilizers, that is manure and compost, instead of what? The chemical fertilizers. So when you use more of organic or manure, that means even runoff will be, it will be limited compared to when we use chemicals. They will leach into the soil, contaminating what? The soil. Next way of controlling soil pollution is treatment. Treatment of what? Industrial waste. So here, industry should treat waste before releasing it into the environment. Here we also avoid dumping toxic chemicals directly into the soil. We are supposed to follow environmental regulations strictly. And here, NEMA is good at that, Cindy.
Yes.
Yes, before you dispose or before you release a waste into water bodies, you must have obtained a permit, Cindy.
Yes.
Yes. Then another way we can control soil pollution is afforestation and vegetation cover. Mediatrix, how can afforestation help in controlling soil pollution?
When you increase the vegetation cover,
Yes.
for example, maybe you planted trees,
Yes.
or you planted shrubs or grass, it will help to, those shrubs will act as a mulch.
Yes.
It won't allow soil to be carried away by
Yes.
or when trees are planted,
Yes.
it will reduce that soil fertility, soil erosion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they act as barriers or buffers. Yeah. Yes, good. Then another point is control of oil spills and leaks. So here we regularly maintain pipelines and vehicles. Oil spills quickly. We maintain pipelines and vehicles. Oil spills quickly to prevent what? Soil contamination. So in case of leakage in our pipeline, see, you report the case to the authorities involved in that. They will come and correct what? The pipelines. Then another point or how we can control soil pollution is use of biodegradable materials. So here we avoid what? The non-biodegradable what? Plastics. Use eco-friendly and biodegradable what? Products. Then we come again to that issue of NEMA banning what? The plastic bags. Those are non-biodegradable. They take a lot of time to do what? To decompose. So in fact that when land is filled with those plastics, agriculture cannot do well in that kind of land. Yes. Then the last point or way we can control soil pollution is public awareness and what? Education. So here we sensitize the public, we sensitize the farmers on what? On ways of controlling what? Soil pollution. Like we can tell them, reduce use of what? Chemical fertilizers. We tell them, don't dispose plastics into what? Into the environment or into the land, because it is what? Non-biodegradable. Sour. Up to that point, any question? Yes, Victoria?
The point about soil erosion.
Yes.
How is soil erosion a form of soil pollution?
Yes, you can try that. How is soil erosion a form of?
Soil pollution.
A form of soil pollution. Who can help with that?
I'll try.
Yes.
Okay, soil erosion means sweeping away of soil,
Yes.
maybe to streams or water bodies.
Yes.
And you know that the upper layer of the soil is the
Yes.
one that has nutrient content.
Yes.
So when it is swept off, then the nutrients are swept.
Washed away.
Yeah,
Yes, good.
that becomes soil erosion.
Yes. Soil is polluted. Yes. Any other question? We are done, Cynthia. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you for
Thank you.
teaching us.
Thank you.